Good morning, dear students. Today, our discussing topic is brakes and dynamometers. Okay, so now brakes and dynamometers. So just we will see that what is mean by brake. So it is simply to say that it is a device and to generate the artificial frictional resistance is applied to a moving machine member. Okay, it is known as brake. Or it may also tell that retard. It will apply the retard or stop the mesh retard. Okay, to produce the retardation for stopping of the machine of the motion. So it is also known as a brake. So coming to be our brakes point of view, it depends upon the some following factors. Those are the five factors are there. Just you will observe that. Uh, so first one point of view, unit pressure between the braking surfaces. Okay, unit pressure between the braking surfaces and coefficient of friction between the braking surfaces, peripheral velocity of the brake drum, and area of the friction surfaces, projected area of the friction surfaces, and last one, ability of the brake to dissipate the heat equivalent to the energy being observed. So these are the factors, okay, are depends upon the brake. Okay, following factors are followed to the our brakes. So that is the brake following factors are there. So already know about of the when we are applying the brakes, what is the uh, what is the fact, what we are following. So those all are to tell in earlier. So that is the factors are there. Now going to discuss about the types of brakes. So types of brakes point of view. So just observe that. Just we will see the our screen. So three types of brakes are generally say that those are the hydraulic brakes and electrical brakes and mechanical brakes. In this hydraulics brakes point of view, let me say the some examples. Those are the pumps generally used in our pumps, and hydrodynamic and fluid agitators generally used that. And electrical brakes point of view, it is also used in generally generators and eddy current brakes. Those are also known. And mechanical brakes point of view, it is again classified two types of the brakes are there. Mechanical point of view, those are the radial brakes and axial brakes. Radial again classified to the block brakes, block or shoe brakes, and another one is there band brakes. Two types of radial brakes are there: shoe brakes and band brakes. And axial point of view, disc brakes and cone brakes. Okay, so in our syllabus point of view, only mechanical brakes are there in our syllabus. So we will also cover the only mechanical brakes in friction. Okay, mechanical brakes of our friction. So let me take the first one, that is the block brake or shoe brake. Just all of you observe that. So block brake or shoe brake point of view, just we will observe the diagram. And simply to say that when we take the our shoe brake point of view, it is consisting of the block, and when we which is pressed against a rotating drum. Okay, the force on the drum is increased by using the lever. So that is that thing is happened when we are applying the brake. Okay, so that is there. And here figure A is there, figure B and figure C. Three figures are available in our derivation point of view. So in this, figure A and figure C are belongs to the one case, that is the our single shoe brake, and figure B will represent double shoe brake. So why we are taking to be figure A and figure C for the single shoe brake? Why? Because if you are observing the figure A, and the small amendment between the figure A to figure C. That is the pivot point will be arranged to the mid of the lever. Okay, at the mid of the lever in figure A. And figure C point of view, the pivot point will be arranged to the one end of the lever and other end will be okay applied to the our force. So that is the small amendment is there. So one of the section is arranged to the pivot at the midpoint and another one is the one end of the lever will be arranged to the pivot. So that is the small okay difference between the figure A and figure C. And coming to here, generally the shoes are made. Then generally the shoes are made up with the material of wood and rubber for the slow vehicles and cast steels for the heavy vehicles. Okay, that is also there. And now before going to make the derivation, so let us know the some symbol notations. Those are the let small r is the radius of the drum. Just observe the particular diagram C, and mu is the coefficient of friction, and Fr is the radial force applied on the drum. Fr, radial force applied on the drum, and Rn is the normal reaction on the block, and F is the force applied at the lever end, force applied at the lever end, and F is the frictional force. Ff is the frictional force. That is also equivalent to mu r. And here, just you are observing the figure C. So they may also give the some distances between the our forces to the our pivot. So those are the distances are also given. Those are the A is there, B is there, and L is there. So we are having the okay forces and their directions and the distances from the pivot point. Okay, those all are there. When we are having that, so then directly to write the value of braking torque on the drum. So braking torque on the drum equals to simply to say that frictional force into radius. Frictional force into radius. So you are observe, okay, just you will observe that frictional force value, what is the value of frictional force? Ff, or it may also written as mu into Rn. Into radius is the small r. Let us take the equation number 1. Let us take the equation number 1. And now going to, okay, consider the equilibrium of the block. Going to take the equilibrium of the block. When you are taking to the equilibrium condition, equilibrium point of view, equilibrium condition point of view. So then taking the momentum about pivot C. Taking the momentum about pivot C. About pivot C. So when we are writing the momentum about pivot C, so the forces are FL, the forces are, what are the forces are there? FL plus mu Rn into C equals to Rn into A. How we write the particular value? So just all of you observe that. So that is the all of you observe that. So Fl, so F is the force of the okay force acting on the lever. So F into L is there from the pivot. So that is the Fl is there, and F and mu Rn. So this is the mu Rn is there, mu Rn direction. Okay, mu Rn is also there. So mu Rn into C, the distance from the mu Rn to the our pivot. The perpendicular distance value is the C is there. Mu Rn C, that is also equals to Rn into A. So Rn is there, and that is the distance, perpendicular distance value is the small a. So that is also taken as the okay, that is taken as that. So now going to take the Okay. The equation will also written as Fl minus Rn into A plus mu Rn into C equals to 0. It is taken as the equation number 2. And similarly to write it, okay, from this equation we may also find the force at the lever. F equals to Rn into A minus mu C by L, and Rn value is also written, Rn equals to Fl by A minus mu C. It is also taken to the equations, that is the 3 and 4 of them. When we will find out the values of Rn, and we will find out the value of Rn, so that Rn value substituted in our equation number 1. So that is the braking torque. So Tb equals to mu Rn into R. Tb equals to mu, that is the mu Rn into R. So mu into Rn value already there, Fl by A minus mu C. So Tb equals to mu into FLR by A minus mu C. It is taken as the equation number 5. So that is the braking torque. Okay, braking torque acting on the single shoe brake. Now, just all of you observe that it is belongs to the when the drum is rotating clockwise direction. So it is also important that the braking torque value belongs to the when the drum is rotating clockwise direction. So now here we may also have the two cases are there, two conditions are attaining here. So that is the when the frictional force, okay, just all of you up to that, moment of applied force and moment of frictional force about O in the same direction, and the frictional force mu Rn helps in applying the brakes, isn't it? It is right. The frictional force is always helpful for applying the brakes. Okay, it is the resistance, frictional resistance. So that is also happened in our general system. So thus this type of brake is known as self-energized brake. What is the mean? Self-energized brake. Self-energized brake. Now going to take the another one. So that is that the value of F is 0 when A equals to mu C. When the condition is A equals to mu C. This type of brake is known as self-locking brake or self-braking lock. Self-braking lock when A equals to mu C. That okay, that condition is known as self-braking. Now coming to the from figure C point of view, the rotation of drum is in anti-clockwise. Okay, so what we found in earlier, so that is the drum is rotating clockwise direction. They may also find out the braking torque value. And similarly to right here, the the drum is rotating anti-clockwise. So again they may also write the Rn, normal reaction. The small amendment is there, that is the normal reaction equals to Fl by A plus mu C. A plus mu C. And braking torque Tb equals to mu into FLR by A plus mu C. Mu into FLR by A plus mu C. So this is belongs to the braking torque. Okay, braking torque when the drum is rotating anti-clockwise direction. Now another term is also rising here. So that is the normal reaction and the frictional force. Normal reaction and the frictional force act at the midpoint of the block. Then the angle of contact 2 theta is small. So both are acting at the midpoint of the block. Both are acting at the midpoint of the block. And when the value of 2 theta is more than 60 degrees, actually we said that more than 40 degrees. The value is here. Just all of you observe. More than where the value is more than 40 degrees. So then it is replacing with the when we are having the 40 degrees more than 40 degrees, then equivalent coefficient of friction, okay, is come. So then equivalent coefficient of friction mu dash, it is also represented with mu dash. It is also having a relation with the mu and mu dash. That is the mu dash equals to 4 mu sine theta, 4 mu sine theta by 2 theta plus sine 2 theta. 2 theta by, sorry, 4 mu sine theta by 2 theta plus sine 2 theta. When you are substituting the value in this, so the value theta value how much it is, so theta equals to 90 or whatever it may be, so then that value substituted here, and you may also replace with the mu is re mu dash, okay, so that is the thing is there. So now all of you observe that. So going to take the next one. So now in this double shoe brake is also there, that is from figure B. Now let us consider the figure B. Double shoe brake is there, and what are the forces are there in our double shoe brake, just all of you observe that figure representation, just you will observe that. So S is there and mu Rn1, a frictional force, mu Rn1 is there, and Rn1 is the normal reaction, and O1 is the fulcrum. So similarly to take the another side also, O2 is there and S is there and mu Rn2 is there and Rn2 normal reaction is also there. And the distances from the normal reaction to the fulcrum is the A, and distance from the fulcrum to the our force, applied force, is the B. So fulcrum distances, distance between the O1 to O2 is the C. So these are the distances are, okay, available in our system. So now the thing is, just all of you observe that the drum is rotating in the clockwise direction, taking the moments about the fulcrum O1. Now we are going to write the momentum about O1. So then SB plus mu Rn1 into R minus C by 2 equals to Rn1 into A. Rn1 into A. So just you will observe that. So how we write that? So how many forces are there? Applied force is there, yes, that is indicating with the S is there, force value. And mu Rn1 is the frictional force. And Rn1 is the normal reaction. So those are the forces are there. And their distances are B is there, A is there. And how we write the R minus C by 2, R minus C by 2. Just you will see the how much of, how long we are having the distance from the Rn mu Rn1 to O1. So just all of you observe that. Okay. Now you will find out the this distance. Now you will find out the this distance. So the distance also come by the help of, okay. So drum radius already known, that is the small r, and distance from the, okay, uh, center to the our fulcrum, that is the C by 2. Okay, r is there, and up to this place to this place value is C by 2, up to this place. So now when you are subtracting the normal radius to the and our c by 2, then simply to get the our distance. Okay, so the distance is also come. So the distance value is the r minus c by 2. This value is the r minus c by 2. So that is the value is there. So under the directions point of view, just all of you observe that s is also going towards, okay, clockwise rotation, and uh, mu rn1, it is also taken to be same clockwise direction, and rn1 is a normal reaction is going to act anti-clockwise rotation. So that's why that is writing as the, okay, another side. So just all of you observe that. Just all of you observe that. So SB plus mu Rn1 into R minus C by 2 equals to Rn1 into A. Just taken as the equation number 6. And next time, similarly to take the, taking the moments about fulcrum O2. Next time O2 point. So then the values are SB equals to mu Rn2 into R minus C by 2 plus Rn2 into A. So that is taken as the equation number 7. So this is the double block brake or double shoe brake. So in case of double block brake, the braking torque is given by TB equals to how much? Mu Rn1 plus mu Rn2 into R. So when we are taking out the similar terms, that is the mu R, and Rn1 plus Rn2 is taken as the, this is the equation will come, mu R into Rn1 plus Rn2, taken as the equation number 8. Here all of you observe that from the equations 6 and 7, you will find out the values of Rn1 and Rn2. Then those values are substituted in our equation number 8. Then simply to find the TB. Okay. Then simply to find the TB. So that is the very important. Now going to find the, in our double shoe brake, that is the bearing area of the shoe is given by one shoe. Bearing area of the one shoe is given by capital A equals to 2r omega sine theta. 2r omega sine theta. And bearing pressure on the lining material. Bearing pressure on the lining material is given by P equals to Rn by A. P equals to Rn by A. Normal reaction by area. So that is the our, okay, double shoe brake. Braking torque is also there, and area and pressures are calculated. So now going to take the next one, band brake. Band brake. So now all of you observe that band brake. Band brake. So band brake point of view, simply to say that it is consisting of a rope or belt. Okay, it is consisting of the rope or belt. It is lined with the friction material, or lined with the friction material and covering the external surface of a brake drum. Okay, and controlled by the lever for applying the brakes. Just all of you observe that. Just observe this one. So all of you observe the diagram point of view. Just diagram. So here when the force is applied at the free end of the lever, then the band is pressed against the surface of the drum. Okay. So just all of you observe that. So when we are applying the, when the force is applied at the free end of the lever, so that is the B, at the B point, when we are applying the, okay, force, then the band is pressed against the surface of the drum. So the band is, the band or rope is, okay, lined with the, okay, up to our drum also, that is covering with the drum up to O A, okay, O ODCA, okay, up to, okay, this value up to our this one B. OCAB is also there. So what is the area is there? So that is okay, lined with the our rope or belt. Okay. So then when it will also presses the surface of the drum. So then simply to stop the our vehicle, stop the motion of the vehicle. So this is the simple band brake. It is also calling a simple band brake. Just all of you observe that. So when we take that, so one lever is there. So the lever OB is there, OAB, lever OAB is there, and drum is there, drum drum is there. So we are having the rope or flexible belt. Okay, so that is covering with the up to our O. Okay, this total drum and our up to A B, up to B, ODCAB, that is totally lined with the particular rope or belt. So then here, when the rope is wrapped around, okay, when the condition is when the rope is, the band or rope is wrapped around the cylindrical drum, its angle of contact is also there, that is the theta. Angle of contact is the theta, and force is applied to the through the lever OAB. OAB, force applied to the lever is the OAB. One end of the band, one end of the band is attached with the attached to the fulcrum O, and other end is some point A on the lever. One end is attached with the lever O here, and another end is attached with the A, up to A. So these are the, okay, that means the rope or belt is covering with the area of ODCA. So one end is the fulcrum, this is the fulcrum is at O, and another end is A. So those are the, okay, ends are there. Now going to take the our symbol notations are involved in our derivation part, that is the T1, T2, tension in the band on the tight side and slack sides, coefficient of friction mu is there, and R is the radius of the drum, and small t is the thickness of the band, and small r of RF is the effective radius of the drum, that is also taken to be R plus T by 2, and F is the force applied on the lever, and A is the length of the lever OB, and B is the distance between the fulcrum to point A. So and the distances, just all of you observe the distances up to our B point to O. The distance is A is there, and O to capital A, O to capital A, that distance is the small b. Okay, and T1 tight side is there, and T2 is there. When it is acting as the tight side, when the drum is rotating clockwise direction, when the drum is rotating clockwise direction, so then it is acting as the tight, okay, this side is acting as the tight side, and this one is a slack side. And the same similar diagram, that the small amendment is when the drum is rotating anti-clockwise direction, when the drum is rotating anti-clockwise direction, so then when the drum is rotating anti-clockwise direction, so then tensions, okay, tight side and slack sides are interchanged here. So that is the our, okay, T2 and T1 are interchanging here. So slack side and tight sides are interchanging here. So now going to find the, okay, our braking torque. So that is the, when we are having the tensions T1 and T2, we simply to write the tension ratio, that is the T1 by T2 equals to e power mu theta. Okay, that is taken as the equation number 1. And now going to write the equilibrium, it is when we take the equilibrium of the system. So what are the forces are there? FA is there and T1B is there. FA is there and T1B. So FA equals to, okay, so their directions are also there. One is acting as the clockwise and another one is the anti-clockwise. So those are there. FA equals to T1B. When momentum about O, when momentum about O. So then it may also written as F equals to T1 into B by A. Okay, am I right? This one, F equals to T1 into B by A. Then F value is the T1 into B by A. Then we write the braking torque on the drum. So braking torque on the drum is written as TB equals to T1 minus T2 into R. T1 minus T2 into R. So T1 minus T2 is also written as T2. T2 is also written as from the equation 1. So T1 by e power mu theta. T1 by e power mu theta. So and then T1 is taken out to the our equation. So the term is 1 minus 1 by e power mu theta into R. So then T1 means what is the value of T1? F into A by B. It may also written as, just substituted the equation number 2. F into A by B. F into A by B into 1 minus 1 by e power mu theta into R. This is the braking torque on the drum when the drum is rotating clockwise direction. When the drum is rotating clockwise. So then braking torque is this one. And similarly to write that for anti-clockwise rotation of the drum, when the drum is rotating anti-clockwise direction, then we will also find the our frictional torque, braking torque value and our force value. So from force point of view, simply to write here, so that is the F equals FA equals to T2B next time. So this is also okay observed by the help of our particular diagram. This one is there. So T2 is are here, this one. Okay, T1 and T2 are interchanging when the drum is rotating anti-clockwise. That is the T2 into B and FA. So FA equals to T2B. Next condition. FA equals to T2B. So when FA equals to T2B, so then simply to write the F equals to T2 into B by A or T2 equals to F into A by B. Similar one. And now okay, now simply to write the our TB equals to okay similar FA by B FA by FA into FA by B into 1 by, just you will observe that what is the value is there, 1 by 1 by e power mu theta minus 1 into R. So that is the small amendment between the this one too and this one. Okay. So TB equals to FA by B into 1 by 1 by e power mu theta minus 1 into R will attain here. So that is the small amendment between the earlier one to this one. That is the our braking torque on the drum when the drum is rotating anti-clockwise direction. So now the session is going to be ending. So if you are having the any queries, please raise your hand.